Hello class, let's talk about the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages refers to the time period around 500 to 1500 AD. Historians also refer to this time period as the medieval period. The Middle Ages started after the fall of Rome. At that time, Northern Europe was very prevalent and subjected to a lot of invasions because they did have a very important river. Even with that river, there was a lack of mountains, and with the presence of the flat plains made invasions more prevalent. There was absolutely no protection from outside invaders. Many different people wanted to take over different areas of land in Europe. Europe was without a central power or government, which means that the people were forming their own governments with specific laws and customs. Because there was no unifying government in Europe, many small kingdoms developed. Feudalism was introduced after the Battle of Hastings in 1066 by King William I. He was also known as William the Conqueror. He brought the people of Europe together and created a sense of unity that was missing since the fall of the Roman Empire. The system that he came up with was called feudalism. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Of course you can't wait to be king. Life is good when you're the king. So the king owned most of the land. He kept 1/4 of the land for himself as personal property, and some was kept by others, but most of it he gave to the church, and the rest was leased. Leased is just a fancy word for rent. The problem is everyone wants to get some of this land, and there were so many attacks and invasions the king couldn't protect it all himself. So the monarch was not able to protect this land, and one thing he had to do was split his kingdom. Then you will find people that you trust and offer them part of the land. The feudal system became the political system in Europe. This system was based on exchanging land for military service and protection. It was very much a system based on promises and loyalty. Let's look at how it works. Do not laugh at my drawing. The king sat on top and he controlled all the land. He grants land to the nobles or barons. They are known as the lords of the manor. The nobles then grant land or fiefs, which is a contract for land, to the knights. The knights are medieval warriors that offer protection to the nobles and the king in exchange for the fief. The knights sometimes grant land to the peasants and serfs. Well, you still don't have what's most important, which is food and weapons. So all the other people who were peasants were allowed to rent the land in exchange for providing weapons, tools, and etc. to the knights and the nobles. The peasants and serfs are the working class at the manor. They provided free labor and had no rights, and they could not leave the manor. So you can see the feudal system is very much a system based on promises, but if you can imagine, with this system in place, you are much better protected from any attacks or threats from outsiders. Remember, feudalism relies completely on a system of land for some type of service. The one unifying characteristic of all of these governments was religion. Nearly every person in Europe practiced Christianity, so religion was the dominant force in their lives. Well, so what? The Christian church became very influential. That's so what? They were very powerful in European society. Therefore, the church played an important role in not only everyday life, but in art and politics as well. The Christian church's leaders also became very powerful. They had political as well as religious influence over the people in Europe. The head of the political church during the Middle Ages was the Pope. What exactly did the Christian church do? Well, one thing they did was cause wars. That's right, the church led wars. In 1095, Pope Urban II gave a speech asking for all of Europe's Christian citizens to take back their Holy Land. The Holy Land is any land in and around the city of Jerusalem and covers where Jesus walked the earth. At this time, the Holy Land was controlled by the Muslims. So Pope Urban asked for all Christians to unite and start a crusade. A crusade is a holy war. Between 1095 and 1270 BC, there were 8 holy wars. Were they successful? Well, they were successful in the first war, capturing back the Holy Land. As a result of the Crusades, the feudalism system was weakened. The Crusaders brought back different products from Europe, like silks and spices. The Europeans learned that the Muslim civilization was much more advanced than theirs and copied their knowledge in science, medicine, astronomy, and agriculture. On the other hand, the king had all the power. A population of people, like the peasants and serfs, were completely oppressed, and there was a loss of many lives during these wars. Well, problems did arise among the relationships between the nobles and the kings. Nobles, who were also vassals, were really mad with the King of England named John. They were mad at him because he kept increasing and they had to pay very high taxes. So the nobles united and forced King John to sign the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was a very, very important document because this document stated that the law and not the king held the supreme power in England. This is one of the first documents in history to protect the rights of people.